talk about it from a meme standpoint. I am a guy who likes memes. And one of the memes that I do like, although we'll get into it, does have its limitations, is the NPC meme. And let me see if I can share my screen here. So let's see. All right. So this is the NPC meme. A lot of you are familiar with it. If you're not looking at your screen, it's that gray guy with kind of like the triangle nose and the dot eyes. Very, very plain looking guy. And that's known as the NPC meme. And the NPC actually stands for non-playable character. It comes from the video game world. So if you're playing a multiplayer video game, many of the characters that you interact with on that multiplayer video game are actually literal people. They're human beings. They have a brain, and they can think, and they have a consciousness, and they interact based on that. But there are characters within many multiplayer games that are not real human beings. They're pre-programmed characters. They have a preset dialogue that they can respond from, and they can't stray away from that dialogue. So whenever I was a kid, one of the first games I remember having a lot of NPCs in it was Legend of Zelda 2. And you went to the one town, there was a guy named Error. And every time you talked to him, he just said, "I am Error. I am Error." That was all he could say, because he was an NPC. He could only say those things that he was pre-programmed to say. So you may recognize this in the field of dialogue, particularly online dialogue with human beings who seem to only be able to repeat whatever Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, whatever their talking points are. There are people who interact online who just seem to repeat that. Whatever it is that they're told, they repeat it. It's like they're programmed characters. So that's where the NPC meme came from. Now, the problem with the NPC meme is that, unlike programmable players in a video game, NPCs in real life are human beings. They are people. They are actual living, breathing people. And that makes a difference, because people are a lot easier. It's a lot easier to program people than it is to deprogram people. And I want to give some examples of that and relate it to what's going on in the world right now. So my first example, actually, I was out in York County a couple weeks ago, and we were at a open air festival. It was outdoors. It was very hot. This summer has been very hot. I know a lot of times they say every summer is the hottest summer on record, and a lot of times I roll my eyes at that. It's like I don't believe that every summer is the hottest summer on record. I might believe it about this summer. Man, it's been a real hot summer. But a few weeks ago, I was in York, and it was 90 some degrees outside. Everyone was hot. Everyone was miserable. And a woman walked by. Remember, this is outdoors. A woman walked by wearing one of those suffocation masks, like those N95 masks, outside in 90 some degree heat. Now, what was going on with that? Well, this woman was very likely programmed in 2020 and 2021 to think that if she went outside without a mask, she would get COVID and die. Like that's how people were programmed then. And eventually they did want people to drop those masks. We can't really function well in society without seeing one another's faces. So we needed society to function. So we needed people to drop the masks. And for the most part, once you switch that programming to now it's okay to walk around without a mask, even though COVID's still around, even though people are still getting COVID, it's now okay to walk around without a mask. Some people are not going to be deprogrammed. Once you program them, once you scare the daylights out of them, that if they go around without a mask on, they will die. Like if you tell them that and convince them of that, a lot of people will just go along with however they're reprogrammed. But a lot of people will internalize that, and then you can't deprogram it. So that was an issue with masks and NPCs and deprogramming. But there's also an issue with other areas where they try to deprogram NPCs and it just doesn't work. Again, humans are not robots. They're not as easy to deprogram. One would be after the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. So for years leading up to that assassination attempt, Donald Trump was described as literally Hitler. Now, if somebody is literally Hitler, then there are certain conclusions that you might want to draw from the fact that somebody's literally Hitler. And then somebody probably drew those conclusions and took action on it. At that point, the Democrats and the corporate media wanted to turn off that programming. They wanted to be like, oh, wait a second. We need to be civil. We need a civil dialogue at this point. Well, guess what? Some of the people are not going to be easily deprogrammed. You've convinced them. They've internalized this message. So the hatred and the vitriol is going to keep coming out. It's easier to program people than to deprogram people. So that's why I would urge everybody, all of the media outlets, political parties as well, be very careful whenever you're trying to program people, because it's easier to program people than it is to deprogram them. And then the final example I would like to give is with Biden. So we had Biden as president for 3.5 years. And during all 3.5 years, those of us who with eyes and ears knew that he was not functioning at a 100% cognitive level. He was not functioning at that level. We knew it, like most of us knew it, but there were the NPCs who were programmed by the media who thought, well, I'm being told that he's sharp as a tack, and I'm being told over and over again that he's sharp as a tack. Therefore, Joe Biden is sharp as a tack. Then after the debate with Donald Trump, they wanted to deprogram those people to say, okay, maybe we need a new candidate. Well, guess what? It's easier to program people than to deprogram them. So a lot of people, we even saw Black Lives Matter tweet out earlier this week after they announced that they're switching from Joe Biden to Donald Trump. Black Lives Matter tweeted out, this is not right. You should not be able to do that. People are convinced that Joe Biden is a fantastic president. He's a great candidate, and he should be given the nomination. So you can't just switch that off once that's in place. So that would be my warning to just us as a society as a whole. Be aware that it is easier to program people than it is to deprogram them. So that should be just a warning. Don't try to program people. Get people to think logically, think intelligently, think for themselves rather than just repeating talking points. So that's